Hi everyone, it's very exciting. Run the Jewels 4 is out. This is the album review for Run the Jewels RTJ4. Let's do it. My name is Holden Stephan Roy. This is a little sneak episode of the Headspace podcast. Why? Because Run the Jewels sneak released the darned album, and now I gotta come through and review RTJ4. Why? We'll get into that in a second, but first, a little bit of a self-promo. Well, this is the Headspace podcast. We break down the hip-hop albums track by track. You're gonna get an in-depth look today and right now at the first 5 tracks because it came out. I don't have enough time to review the whole thing, but I can tell you this album slaps hard. So yo, I'm just stoked. I'm real excited to go through it. I've listened to the first half of the album like 5 times and the rest of the album once. So I'm just real stoked. Before we get into that though, I do make music myself, trying to get on that grind. You can follow me on Spotify. You can check out what I do. I have a music video I just put out on this channel. All that, links in description, whatnot. Otherwise, if you like what we do here with these album reviews and you think this is dope and it's better than a 14-minute summary, which is half a reaction and they don't really say a lot of thoughts, then you can hit that Patreon link down below and do some love like that. On that note, we finna get into RTJ4, Run the Jewels, real soon. Basically, I like to start off the show talking a little bit about why I choose to pick these albums, because when I started doing it, I didn't explain it, and then I kept getting asked. So, you know, the customer service dude in me goes, let's mitigate the questions in advance. You know how it goes. If you don't, we can chat about it. Always feel free to leave a comment. I haven't been saying that as much recently, and I really should, because I do love the discussions. I think I learn more in the comments after I do a review than I ever do when I talk about the review in the first place. But I love Run the Jewels. I discovered them maybe not long before RTJ3 came out. It was Blockbuster Night Part 2. Just banged out. It is one of my favorite tracks of all time. Like, if I was on an island and I had to pick tracks and whatever, there's a good chance that I wouldn't pick it, but it would make the short list. That's how much I fucking love Blockbuster Night Part 2. But anyway, we end up reviewing RTJ3 when it drops, and it's within the first 10 episodes ever put out of anything on this channel, so the review's trash. I don't even remember what I said. I can tell you I've gone back to RTJ3, and of the ones I've listened to, it might be my least favorite. It's not that it's a bad album, but I'll get into what I love about RTJ2 and 4 that I felt like was a little not exactly the same on 3. If you guys care or not, either way, it's the energy. I felt the energy was different. I can't get into RTJ3 the way I am 2 and 4. Anyway, we end up doing RTJ2 at some point, not that long ago actually. I think it was somewhere around when Killer Mike dropped his Netflix show, upon which I have to say, since I watched that show, I think Killer Mike has become like my hero in terms of older adult male role model figure of whom his life is the most I would like to emulate, just in the sense of activism work, caring about the community, thinking obscure stuff out the boss, trying to convince her girlfriend to have a threesome. All these things are things I can relate to on like a personal and ethereal level. So like, I just really dig Killer Mike's energy. I love the chant he gave about what happened with the name I probably shouldn't say, just because this one I kind of hope does get monetized. Y'all know what I'm talking about. We just did a video very recently on this channel about our experience about what went down in Montreal on Sunday. So like, we really about that now. I think we're learning how. We're gonna go talk to people and figure out how to get involved in Montreal's community. There's another situation, I'll use that word, going down this Sunday that I'll be attending. Why? Because I thought about Killer Mike, you know, like how I could be an ally and whatnot. So yo, if any of y'all actually know Killer Mike and can get that man to talk to me and have him make a piece of content with a humble dude like myself, I'm not trying to be like arrogant here. I really just want to hear his wisdom so I can understand how to be a better ally and like make the how to be an ally for dummies guide. I think I have that skill set, and I think I could work with Killer Mike in the same frame of how he made his educational erotic videos. I think I can work with that dude on that front and maybe do something helpful. I mean, if Killer Mike is down and somebody knows him. Either way, we'll get into the music real soon. I just needed to say all that because I'm biased, so don't expect a fucking objective review here. It's not what this channel is. I'm telling you what I think. And I love Run the Jewels 4. I love the album. I think this may rank as It's currently my favorite album that's come out this year in terms of actually seeing myself re-listening to the music. Does that mean objective blah 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 critic man pity? Fuck that shit. We're talking about how I feel right now. Anyway, before we get into the album, I love the cover. It's pink and it's got the classic fist and guns. What else does it need to be? I feel like as the fist and guns go on, they get more like powerful looking. Like these ones just feel like the most modern and rich, just like this minimalistic effect, like they've fucking made it and it just looks strong. Anyway, I love the cover, I love the title. I mean, what else could you possibly want? I just hope the next one's RTJ4. We should find a way to get a Meow the Jewels 4. I'd be really into that. Let me know if you want to see Meow the Jewels 4 in the comment. And yo, we didn't actually, I've never listened to RTJ1, so if you want to see me and Bonnie hit that up and do like a classic quest with RTJ1, it would be an easy sell, because yo, we bumped the album together the first time. It slaps, we love it. So hit that like button if you want to see us do RTJ1. Yeah, that's right, I'm selling out my soul and trying to be a little more of a YouTuber. Either way, I really can't wait to get into it. So why wait, let's talk about Yankee and the Brave episode 4. All right, let's let that So I was just thinking to myself, when a certain dude got out of jail recently and put out this super high energy track that just has hitting the right BPM, and I was bouncing a lot to it. And I felt that recently, while a lot of talented individuals had released a lot of music that was very talented and great of different energies and tempos, the little rat-like one that y'all don't probably like effectively released one of the best workout songs I heard all year. And I'm just kind of looking for stuff sometimes to get my heart rate up, to pound to capture into the rageful energy that fuels me to want to torture my body into building muscles and shredding away the fat. It's been a long goal, and I find high energy, knock a motherfucker out music basically is what motivates me to move. I want some angry hip-hop shit. I didn't really understand that whole genre until I started getting into shape and realized I could freaking fight and shit if I had to. And then all of a sudden, not to say that it's like associated with it, but like, look, man, I don't know how you stay still listening to this freaking track or any of these banging shit. So this stuff comes in and has that little introduction where it's like, you know, this week on episode of Yankee and the Brave, which it took a minute, but thank goodness there's somebody on Genius somewhere that freaking commented and explained what that meant, because honestly, your dense boy over here actually just did not get it. Well, Mr. LP, he's a Yankee because of the baseball team, the Yankees, and Mr. Killer Mike, he is the Brave from Atlanta, because the Atlanta Braves. And I'm like, I am not sports, but let's give credit where credit's due, because it is Genius. And I see there's 3 people. I'm gonna give the credit to the number one, Trapezoid House. So if you watch this, kudos to you for educating me on that. So it's cool, right? And I like how it's episode 4. Like, this is the 4th iteration of what we do. Like, each of these albums is like a little episode of us blasting through. I also like the length. It's 39 minutes. It's like it came in and it did exactly what it needed to be. And considering that last track feels maybe a little bit like, I don't know, like it was added on at the end, because I don't think it was on the original track list. I remember earlier in the year seeing that it was supposed to be 10 tracks originally. I could be wrong, but I do follow these dudes on Twitter, so this is like my memories that I'm relying on. And yeah, I just thought it was 10 tracks, and then it looks like this one got added on, and I could see where it's coming from and whatnot. So that really just jumped the length up to 39 minutes, right? Because it was like 33 until that track came on. Anyway, still, we'll get into all of that as time moves on through this review. So yeah, basically the beat comes in absolutely banging. It's super strong, and I just felt myself having to move. I felt myself doing that crazy ass stance stuff that the certain rap man's music was making me feel. And I remember going, all I need is something just better, right? Just something that has like a lyrical prowess to like come at it. Because here's the thing, I love that high energy fuck, like basically the mosh pit music, the stuff that inherently is often maybe something that is loved by people who are a little inebriated. So a lot of the lyrical content isn't often there, but I want that punk protest political rah 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 shit over banging music. And I think that's what makes me kind of loving what Killer Mike does, because right at the beginning, I mean, this might not be the most bold start of a track, but just the overall tone of how he comes in, it's aggressive, it is hard hitting, it's like the energy is just unapologetic in such a degree I'm addicted. Like I often say when I do Griselda reviews, they are unapologetically themselves in terms of how they present themselves. I feel like Killer Mike and LP also bring that authenticity to the table. So I don't want to say it on every track, but these two men sound freaking 100% pure in terms of the faith they put into their shit, to the power of who they are. The confidence is just, swagger is there. Everything possible that you could want out of aggressive sounding bravado music. Anyway, rhymes is proper. I love the syllable combining. It's just like back at it like a crack addict, Mr. Black Magic, crack a bitch back, chiropractic, craftmatic, big, and that's just great, man. Look at that line. So he's back at it like a crack addict. That's actually pretty smart, right? Because in a sense, crack addicts are consistently coming back at all cost and with great fervor, right? This is not something that you just mosey on over to. It's with an energy and an intensity that is matching the beat. So then Mr. Black Magic, I mean, it's pretty clear. He's Killer Mike, he's black, and he's magical. What else could you possibly say? Then to follow up on the crack a bitch back, fair enough. That's a little violent, but then he goes chiropractic, craftmatic, and that's like having a chiropractic chair. It's honestly the strangest bars in terms of, I don't know what the fuck his bigger flex is, but I love the way it rhymes, and I love the fact that within themselves, these bars are kind of flowing together, but also sounding awesome and cool. And that's it. That's what makes me love these guys, because it's fast-paced, hard-hitting. Every line feels like you're getting popped in the face, and then it just is awesome. It's literarily dope. I don't think literarily is a word, but he's the big daddy smoking big Cali in a black alley in a black grand natty rolling down old natty. Sure, it's all fine. And I don't know, the rest of the verse kind of flows through with this fucking flow that he just keeps running on. I don't think any of the rest of the lines are really popping out at me as like mad quotable fucking kill it, but the energy upon which he's delivering it. Why am I not reading every line? Because seriously, this shit'll take an hour and a half on 5 songs. If I do, they pack the lyrics in and they make it fucking fresh. I do like when he goes, I'ma have your block hot as a sauna all summer. Fair enough, he dropped this shit, it just got hot like the summer. That's all I'm trying to say. And I put that on Osama, my motherfucking mama. I think that's a cool lyric because it's such an extreme reference to throw in. Like, yo, I'll put it on the, like, almost like the worst possible thing, but also my mother at the same time. I'm gonna terrorize the actors playing like they want some drama. Get it? Because Osama does that thing. And then basically he's gonna show through that the promise and the servitude that he is gonna bring into the game. The authenticity is gonna fuck up the weak. I mean, that is effectively one of the core tenets of basically real dudes, is their authenticity makes motherfuckers feel weak. And Killer Mike definitely probably has that effect on motherfuckers. I also just like that way it ends it with that. I'ma chop him with a chopper till I'm motherfucking drop him. It just sounds good. It just, I don't know. It's just an excellent way to start an album. I mean, you're sitting there, you're going, I might play some Skyrim or something tonight. I'm kind of feeling a little lazy. I'm off. And then you hear this and you're like, I'm doing a motherfucking album review. Fuck that lazy shit. Anyway, LP just throws through, but what I love is he starts on the same fucking rhyme scheme, that can sound that we just had. So he's like, stack, added a Mac with the blackest fabrics. I'm back. I'm magically rocking it. That's when I'm ducking rat-a-tat-tats. I'm running the truck over sucker shit. Matter of fact, kiss the ass, even the crack automatic facts. It's like that. Woo! Sorry. When he goes, even the crack automatic facts, it's like that. And I love that because that's some mastery shit. I've realized that the way, one of the things I think really marks like super like excellent flows versus, let's say, really good ones, like what really takes you from like that 4.5 line into the 5 line, is that, man, if you look at the math on that bar and you chop it up, he's basically dropping 2 core melodic flows on you, right? So he's got the main one, the matter of fact, kiss the ass, even the crack, and he breaks it as that melodic thing. But the fact that he goes automatic facts, going back to that farce shit, then drops in and just brings in that melody back with it, that making all that rhyme. It's like I can picture this like on a chart, right? Like in my brain, and when I listen to the bars, and it's almost like in Guitar Hero land, and it just kind of flows out. Man, the complexity and precision that he brings, it's not necessarily complex, but the precision and just the excellence and ease he does it with, that is the 20 plus years of LP just fucking flowing into it. Oh, we did Fun Crusher Plus by Company Flow, so if you want to check out that shit, you can. And I don't know, man, big time LP fan too. Anyway, I just like the way all that sounds. I mean, I don't really know that there's a whole bunch I can fucking interpret here. It's blunt, straight, in your fucking face bars, but really what's amazing is that while it's blunt, it slaps, right? It just hits you. I don't know. It flows through. It's a great way. I like how he ends it. Like, I'm ready to. I really like the word choice that LP will bring sometimes. Like, I'm ready to mob on these fucking charlatans, right? Like, that's just cool because it flows into the targeted, argue, and all the other rhymes harvested. But the way he fact is, instead of just call motherfuckers fake or, you know, the actors or whatever, because even actors is something that's a little more commonly used. He brings up charlatans. That's like dropping a $10 word when everyone else would have copped out with the 2-penny word. I love how they basically grabbed the sample of Killer Mike, and it's from Jeopardy, courtesy, thank you, genius annotator, Saturn with 2 N's. The go, 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 where we gonna do? That's from Jeopardy over there, so I love that. It ties into my other favorite Run the Jewels album, because, it's hard for me right now to say which I like more, RTJ2, RTJ4. I don't know yet. I have to actually sit on both, do a little back-to-back. Maybe I'll let y'all know in the comments if you ask. Anyway, then we flow in, and I like the more back-to-back feel on these verses, right? I mean, the bars just fly. I don't know. I'm going to just kind of read through the lyrics. Keep in mind one thing for y'all watching. I don't think I said this yet. It is now 7:41 p.m. on June 3rd. I know about this album's existence for literally less than 3 hours. I started bumping it by 5:10 p.m. I have actually listened to the whole thing once. I think I already said all that part. My whole point is I'm kind of live reacting to the lyrics as I'm looking at them. As much as I tried to absorb lyrics listening, and I really did, I'm still in the like mad excited phase where I'm processing this is actually still happening. This is like the freshest kind of shit ever. I just don't do reaction videos because fuck that shit. Let's talk thoughts. Anyway, I like when LP's whole cops verse, right? Because this is where we get into the more of that political stuff. And like I said, I went to a thing on Sunday in Montreal. You can Google it. So basically, I got 1 round left, 100 cops outside. I could shoot at him or put one between my eyes. Chose the latter. It don't matter. It ain't suicide. So this seems to be in reference to the story of Christopher Dorner, who is a dude who ended up being in a situation where he was faced with the cops letting him on fire or terminating his own existence, and he chose that. And I think regardless to how this is reported or whatever, he follows up. Killer Mike goes, and if the news say if it was as in suicide, that's a goddamn lie. I can't let the pigs kill me. I got too much pride, and I meant it when I said it. Never take me alive. So basically what he's trying to say is, if the cops put you into a position where effectively all that's going to happen is that you're going to get capped or you're going to get taken out or whatever, and you in that moment choose to kill yourself before actually like allowing yourself to like avoid it, I mean, that's not necessarily suicide. That isn't the same thing. That isn't the same action. It shouldn't be said. And the thing is, I'm a Jew, right? And I can think of like all these moments in Jewish history when they were being persecuted by, because if you go back in time, I don't know how we're doing pretty okay now. I'll be honest, I get a lot of the commentaries. There's a lot of really mean people that can affiliate with my peeps. But what I'm trying to say is, in the history, the idea of what Killer Mike is putting forth here is like entrenched into so many stories where the Jews chose to take their own lives rather than actually just letting the oppressors oppress them. Because, man, I read a book on the Spanish flu, I think it was, and at some point they just decided it was the Jews' fault and started like fucking torching him and locking him in houses and shit. And it was like these Jews chose to, in a lot of times, kill themselves before they could let it turn. It's like having that control, because it's like, I'm not gonna let you take me alive. And I really, really love that part. That is one of those lines where it's like the whole thing from Killer Mike, from the first time I heard it, it slapped. Apparently this song's been out for a minute. I can see it came out in March. Here's the thing. I did watch the music video for the next track on the project because I couldn't resist, but I really tried hard not to listen to any of the tracks I know I'm going to review the albums are until I hear the album, because I want the album experience. So you guys may have heard this shit for a while, I realize, given my excuses I gave myself, but for me, I waited till the album came out. LP comes back, does another verse. I don't know if there's anything here I'm really going to pop off on commentary. Yo, Michael, run like you're hungry, get your ass in the ride. That's funny because it's implying that Killer Mike is kind of fat and he only runs for food, which, fair. But I believe Mike can move, man. I've seen the dude perform. I'd rather have and not need than watch your rotten demise. That's fair. I respect that. That's like a logical line. And you still owe me for them Nikes. You do not get to just die. That's funny. So I guess this is like in response to the kind of situation that Mike just presented with the suicide and the cop situation. So and you kind of have LP here breaking him out, and that's real cool. So he's saying, you know what? Fuck your little misery shit you just put on. You've got to survive because that's what's up. And you got to replace those shoes, kind of saying that shit to get him into it. And then I like how he flips it. Yo, try to fuck with my brother, you get the bastard surprise. That's more than honest than your whole life. In a fraction of time, I didn't get my degree in how to smoke weed till I'm blind, so you could ruin my high jewel runner doing your buy. And so I like that. It's like this little camaraderie, like, yo, I needed you. I need you to be here. Fuck, we gotta run this shit, you know? It's dope, man. And then Killer Mike follows back. My brother made a point, so at the back door I'm a slide. And effectively, he convinced them to escape and find a better way. I'm chubby, husky thighs rubbing fucking on my Levi's. That line is amazing, right? Because it's like just so self-aware and like owning who he is and just being okay with it and unapologetically just fucking running with it. Like, listen, I have some serious body self-image issues with my weight. I'm on such a compulsive, healthy weight loss mission. It's the first time it's healthy, so I can brag about it. But I've done some unhealthy shit in the past, so I just love the way he puts it in, loving himself like that. It makes me feel like better as a man. Anyway, the crooked copper got the dropper. I put lead in his eye, and we heard he murdered a black child, so none of us cried. And that's fair, right? Because that happens a lot too often. I don't know if y'all know it, but Papoose basically took the Many Men beat by 50 Cent and did his own little Alphabet Slaughter remix where he just is able to run through the alphabet and just give a different name of another victim of that same thing. So it's like hard to cry. Not all cops, I get it, but that's a useless fucking sentiment because one cop is too many cops. These are motherfuckers whose job it is to be trained, not to have excuses and get off. So, whatever. I gave this shit a 5 on 5. It's just such a banging start. It got me really in the mood. Now I'm a little emotional, so ooh la la. I mean, how do you stay still listening to this? I'm pretending I know how to dance, bouncing all around my room, looking like the dorkiest white boy you ever done seen, but it's just like, you gotta try to do that rhythm. It's like, da, 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 da. I can't do it. I'm just embarrassing myself. Bonnie would have loved to watch this live. But yeah, they got Greg Nice here. I believe they sampled him, but he comes through for the music video, which is kind of fresh. And basically, I don't know if it was him live and redoing it or it's inspired from it, but it's from the DJ Premier produced song DWYCK by Gangstar. I'm Trusting Genius. I didn't actually go listen myself. Either way, I just love the chorus, that ooh, la, la, ah, oui, oui. And it's just funny to hear English people butcher French. Because I live in Quebec, so moi je parle français. C'est pas comme mon accent, c'est très bon, mais c'est meilleur que lui. Je peux faire le reste de la review en français si tu veux, but I'm pretty sure none of y'all want. I basically was just fucking with y'all and said I could do the whole thing in French if I had to. I really don't want to. I have to do a French demo for work soon. It's gonna suck. It's like an hour of talking tech nonsense to French people. I like French. I love the language. It's just I'm not comfortable in it. I digress. This one just, it comes in, man. This one had that same, like, punch me in the face energy that Blockbuster Night Part 1 had given me, or Part 2 or whatever. So looking for M's like I lost a friend. Jump out of my bed like, where's the bread? You gon' hold an egg, waiter, bring the check. When we talk, we Kalashnikov, keep us in your thoughts. I just felt like, oof, that's a real strong start, right? Like, he's looking for money. He's jumping out the bed, like, where's the, money at? But, at the same time, it could be like food. He falls at the food bar, like, you gonna hold the egg, way to bring the check. Fair enough. And when we talk, we Kalishnikov, keep us in your thoughts. I thought that was really good, man. I feel like it just hits in a way where it's like bold, like, oh, you think you're whatever? Well, we weren't fucking around. We got the guns. Give us the fucking money. Fully dressed at the cracking dawn, weapons letting off. I can hear them from the block, see them creeping through the fog. And then you're like feeling this revolution-y kind of vibe, like some real shit's about to pop off. Season's greetings, now feeding season can start. Oh my God, look alive, looking like I live on the crooked line, doing fine. You want maximum stupid? I'm the guy. And then I just feel like this tense energy where he's gonna let off and he's gonna pop through. He's ready to go, revolutionary style. Like, he sees the tides of motions and he's ready to be on the front line and just kill it. You just feel that energy. Now let's talk about the music video. First of all, it has the fucking proverb, like, sometime billionaires, I don't remember the fucking proverb, but it was funny because it said fuck in it. It said ancient proverb, and then bring me some moe garçon. Quote by Killer Mike, which is I think taken at one point from the hook. He says that. It's hilarious, but this video is just great. There's like, basically the idea is at some point we can get past the idea of materialism, money, and compulsive greed, because there's some whack shit. Like, I want to make money so I can build out my empires and like kind of build out the right to build content all day and a couple of things. But when it comes to materialism shit, I'm like, I'm running out of birthday presents I want. Like, I just don't want anything. I've tapped out. I don't need a bunch more shit. It's not like there's anything in my price range that I impulsively can't just get, and I've stopped buying stuff. So like, I don't know, I look at money in a different way where people just chase it and everyone's just trying to hoard it. And I'm like, for what purpose, man? I've literally, through Epic Games, gotten more video games than I can play for probably the next 5 years. Honestly, if I just stopped and I just played video games all day, every day, I've got enough video games for years, okay? What do I need anymore? I don't know. So that's what I hear when I watched that video and I saw how they play with the money and they rolled it through and everyone was dancing and it was just like this fucking great party I wanted to roll to, but you also felt that tenseness and the energy in it. And I think that's what I love about this shit. Oh, DJ Premier scratching up on this is just fantastic. Can I just give the props to Mr. DJ Premier for just that chorus, how he makes it sound fucking fresh. So I just love how... So what's really nuts about Run the Jewels is how modern and fresh they are in their sound. They're honestly pioneers in a sense of a modern, aggressive shit. Like, I feel like, maybe not pioneers, some of y'all cats will come at me for that, but I would argue they are. I would argue in modern underground pop music consumed by middle-class white boys, Run the Jewels 4 is fucking king right now. They can drop it and they're gonna win. They're like, they knocked Hobson out, they moved people out the way and just stole the show through authenticity and grittiness. But they're old, right? They're almost 40, if I'm not mistaken. He said, no, they're in their 40s. He said they're born in 75. That's old, man. That's nearly 10. That's 12 years older than me. Shit, that's 44. Now I know how old they are. So, the fact that they're like in their 40s, they dropped an album, they became a trending topic, and they dropped banging political rap that's hard hitting, adheres to the premises of hip hop, where they floss their creativity, their talent, and grittiness through hard hitting, obscene shit. Also slapping fake people, also applying core tenets like DJ work and scratching, also digging in the crates and pulling out Greg Nice. Like, not only is this showing love to like the classics and fucking everything else like that, the core tenets of what make hip-hop dope, being in the pocket, great rhyming, great punchlines, but it's also fresh. Like, you want to listen to it in the landscape of being in 2020. That's rare. That's a lot of things right on the first 2 tracks of this album, is all I'm trying to say. A lot of things right. I love what they've done. Run the Jewels may be in my top 10 favorite artists right now. I haven't thought about that in like a year, but I would do a lot to fucking just hang out with them. If they like doing a track with them, oh my gosh, I don't even know how, like, that's like, it blow my mind. I would be like a fucking schoolgirl. I don't think I could handle it. It would be too exciting. Anyway, that we haven't even got to Killer Mike's first. Right? All of this excitement, and I'm still in LP's verse because, well, I touched on a bunch. The beat's banging. I don't know. And then Mike comes through. First of all, fuck the fucking law. We is fucking raw. I don't know about you, but shit like, fuck the fucking law. We is fucking raw. Just want to fucking smash some shit. Just fucking yell it out. I don't know. He says some sushi, fancy food shit, whatever. I really like goes when he's like, life a bitch and a pussy fish, still fucked her raw. I'm a dog, I'm a dirty dog. Ha 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 ha. Old dirty bastard, go in your jaw. Shimmy, shimmy, yeah. That's amazing, right? Because again, old school hip hop, gramming through bars that connect in a fucking great way. Personality, the way he laughs and shit's amazing. It's just so theatrical in the energy and the delivery. Shouting out fucking Jerry the Damager because the pugilistic my linguistics is like a bar from an old track. Got the semi into him going gimme yeah. Like it's just really dope how he keeps it so fucking proper while literally pornographic. So because all of that was shouting out like old timey rappers while basically talking about fucking a chick. So, and I rap it pornographic, as in I rap it, bringing into rappers, pornographic. I wrapped my pornography in rappers. That's a fucking bar. I should add that fucking genius annotation, but I'm not going to because we're doing this review. Y'all getting the exclusive of my mind. Bitch, shut up the camera. This is such a good verse, man. Obviously, you know it's a 5. We're halfway through it. We already know it's a 5. This sounds too good. You covert disruption, I got you covered, I'm busting. This is LP back on the second verse. My brother's a runner, he's crushing, it's no discussion. And we do know that Killer Mike runs because of the last verse on the last track. So there is a little bit of connection. He introduced the idea already. Anyway, I used to be motherfucking, I used to be munchkin. I wasn't supposed to be nothing. Y'all fuckers corrupted or up to something disgusting. And I like that because he's supposed to not be able to succeed. And he was maybe brainwashed and conditioned in a way by a system that's fucking evil. You know, my pockets are plump for the season. I love to cuff them. So I basically get the sense that they're doing very well now because lots of people care about them now. And cuffing him, isn't that the idea of like linking up with a chick? So now that he's fucking fresh, he can grab whatever he wants. I don't know. I'm afraid of nothing but nothingness, ain't it something? And that's a fucking fresh line. So all he's afraid of is, I guess, the emptiness and the lack thereof of life. That's an interesting point. I think it's cool. So he doesn't have really fear, but the fear of, like, the crazy shit that you can't know. Warmongers are dumping a point and click on your pumpkin. Y'all suck with instructions, so put your kids in the oven. Oof. So basically he's saying y'all fucking suck, so whatever, you're not qualified to be here. It's real dope. I just love the way he rhymes, and I tried my best to like try to give you an idea of the cadence when I'm spitting the bars, but they're extremely on point and everything is rhyming in like a perfect synergy where like these dudes understand the rules, is all I'm trying to say. My favorite parts of this track though is absolutely fuck a king or queen or not, they're loyal subjects. I pull my penis out and piss on their shoes in public. People, we the pirates, and pride is great republic. I love it when Killer Mike alliterates like that. He does it a lot, and he makes the P sound always hit you in the face. But even this, man, it's like fuck your loyal, like nationalistic point of views. Fuck your like desire to be part of a complacent system. End of the day, the queens, the monarchies, the fucking colonial governments, it's all bullshit. Like I'm not a big fan of the queen. I couldn't give a shit. I mean, great, she's technically on my money. She also ran a slave trade and shit, no? I mean, tail end of it, I guess. I can't really say Queen Elizabeth ran a slave trade. But she definitely did some imperialistic bullshit. I don't actually know if she did. Y'all can let me know, because I was just kind of talking up my ass for a second, and now I'm retracting. I'm going to totally forget to even think to edit this out later. So we're going to keep it in, and you can let me know how much you think. I just think she is definitely around through a lot of bad bullshit. Anyway, Killer Mike continues on, no matter what you order, motherfucker, we're what you're stuck with. And I thought that was really cool too, because effectively with the Pirates of the Pride of Republic line, it almost looks like we're the real authenticity of shit. We're the ones that are able to come through and make the wave. So y'all may have asked for a lot of different things, but at the end of the day, you got us. But then he really just flips it up and presents the idea that he used to like Batman and Bruce Wayne, but when he really came down to it, he empathized with the character of the Joker, who in a lot of ways is a character whose ideology is kind of like to create the chaos to counteract the hypocrisy of life, is my little bullet point, possibly a little wrong version. So at the end of the day, his revolutionary mind isn't really like Batman, it's more like the Joker, and that's fresh, man. Just that creativity and how it came through. Y'all get it, man. It's a 5 on 5. It's just real dope. Anyway, this one's called Out of Sight. Another great one. I'll be honest, this one's a 4.5 on 5. There you go. I'll tell you what it is. It's that The first two hit me with this energy I was loving. And this one breaks up the vibe a little bit in a good way, right? Because when you win album line, you gotta have more than one sound, right? It can't just be the same shit over and over again. It's just too much of a gamble for a cohesive, excellent project. You actually have to have some different stuffs coming in. However, the direction this sound and energy went here, I felt like it went a little to the curve of what I would do. Every time I've gotten to this track on the album, it's not like my love for this track in and of itself goes down. I think it might just be the placement on this project and just like put it somewhere else as a single on random, and it might just feel better. But I heard it in the context of this album, so this is where we're at with it. Don't get me wrong, I love the track. We're talking 4.5. It's a 90% to excellence. 2 Chainz is banging on this too. Can we just talk about 2 Chainz for a second? 2 Chainz got the Eminem feature and came through doing the 2 Chainz thing. And the thing is, he sounds original in the sense that there's not a lot of dudes that really come through with this crazy level of lyricism and bars, but sounds like this lazy ass trapper in the delivery. But then you realize he's actually really tight and on point, and he just sounds lazy, but he's actually really like technical with it. He just has this weird slow flow, and I was really like just watching how he hit this beat and the way he lined up on it, and I think he did an excellent job. And at first I was a little bit like, 2 Chainz, you know, because 2 Chainz, like, that's my first thought, but nah, it actually makes a lot of sense. Like, dude, 2 Chainz has quite the career. Titty Boy himself has turned into quite the monster in the industry. But I like how in the first verse they do a little back and forth. So LP starts us off, run, here come the menace to sobriety. Like what? Super thuggers pumping on the cut. So effectively they're coming through, you're gonna get fucked up is what it is. And then I like how instantly Killer Mike brings it back to like, because we just did Public Enemy, so it's fresh on my mind. My motherfucking Uzi weighs a ton. Hit the drum till you hear it go ba-da-pum-pum-pum, which is cool because he adds like the drummer boy kind of thing there. But it's also like the way he's hitting the beat and shit, the way his voice kind of is his weapon, the way it comes through and smashes like that. It really just works as a good bar. LP jumps back with Run, Piety just really is in us. What a rush, see you cutting up a pie, that's my lunch. And then Killer Mike cuts him off, run your motherfucking pockets when I come. It's an honor to be robbed by Denise's only son. And that I thought was just fucking fresh. It's just so hard hitting. They come through, they're like, yo, we not humble, we know who the fuck we are, we know where we're at, we taking this shit, we running the jewels, we doing what we gotta do. And then just the way that Mike refers to himself as Denise's only son, like just the way he frames himself like a legendary figure of a story, it's fresh. And then instantly, and I realized there's no way this was like a one take verse. And often I feel like we spend so much time as rappers trying to one take our shits, and then the way Mike just cuts himself off with cuff vegan bitch and feed him dick because they ain't gonna, and I realized, man, they're just making it however, they don't give a fuck if it's gonna be cut off lines, 17 takes, who the fuck cares as long as the song sounds good. I thought that was real strong. Then So was my hero, only Tony's just a fucking Hawkster. And I thought that was an interesting rhyme, like where it's like, I haven't seen Scarface, but my interpretation would be like, hey, he's playing up on the name of Tony Hawk, whatever. But Sosa was my hero, and then Tony Montana's character being the man behind is just fucking fake or whatever, because when push came to shove, Tony Montana wasn't willing to actually do what needed to be done, is what I understand happened. So alas, he really isn't what he's supposed to be. But the more image of Sosa was pretty cool. And then, I don't know, I guess if I'm Chief Keef right now, I'm fucking loving that bar. Out of mind, out of touch, out of time, man, I'll smoke a boogie backwards with a thumb up, like, it's fine. And I just love it because I can picture him doing that. And if you do light one backwards and you have filter in, it's a bad situation. Anyway, rest of the verse is LP and it's fucking fire. He just kind of totes himself up. I'm scanning really quick. I don't really see more I want to comment on, except you don't want to live this life. It's really not sublime. I'm only doing what I like, hawking loogies at the swine. So it's like, you know what? You guys can say whatever. You don't really want to be like me because my shit's grimy and rough, like willing to go at the cops or whatever. Got this great chorus hook thing where they're just like out of sight, RTJ, whatever. It sounds fucking good. It's just cool. It's really like reminds me of some old school hip hop shit with the new school sounds that they use. I like how Killer Mike starts us off with, we the motivating, devastating, captivating, Ghost and Ray relating product of the fucking 80s. And that's a cool line, right? Because the Ghost and Ray really were two seriously, or still are, I'm so sorry, but bars-driven dudes that can bounce off of each other so flawlessly and etc. So I feel like, yeah, you can feel that same energy in Killer Mike and LP. Coke dealing babies, never regulating, bag accumulating. It would be overstating to say they are underrating. The pride of Brooklyn and the Grady baby. We don't need no compliments or confidence or attitude and latitude is fuck you, pay me. I really like all that because it just has this braggadocious nature. A, it sounds fucking amazing, but the way they describe, we some old school 10-year legends that have been in the game with this level of lyricism and skill in this conversation. We don't care about your approval, just give us the fucking money. Anyway, rest of the verse is pretty fucking fire. It flows through like it's supposed to be. Ain't nothing else to say. Well, I'm sure there could be, but whatever. Y'all let me know if there's more to say in the comments. Anyway, LP comes through. I know you just about motherfucking had it. Our shit's just magic. Go figure the run so the litter did it without scamming. And that's cool, right? Because here they are and they're basically going through it, but without having to cheat anyone, without having to play the fucking label games and do bad promotions. And they were able to just stay legitimate and authentic, and it's almost through that authenticity that like their crazy run has culminated in like the moment that we're having now, which with this magnus opus of a fucking project here just slaying everything. And then 2 Chainz really, like I touched on earlier, kills it, but from a bars level, you know, I'm popping a product of fucking poverty. It just sounds like it belongs on a Run the Jewels song when you read it. Like, wow, that's really played on the alliteration. But at the same time, in this sense of this track, they're winning. They're winning in life, even though it's based on the fact that they kept it real. I'm cool as AC, and you just wanna bees. I slide on tracks like home plate, ride beats like road rage. Got a crib in like 4 states, and I get texts like stay safe. Text back, I missed a pussy, can't be home soon, I can't wait. I came from a dream, triple beam, and some great tape. And so I just kind of like how he's rolling through this nice fantasy life of where he's coming through, and his life is real dope. And the way he did ride that flow and shit, it just really felt like the way you visualize somebody running onto home plate like a batter sliding. That's a good visualization for the way that flow sounded to me. Anyway, another good line is just, I buy a hot dog stand if I'm trying to be a Frank. So that's a good line because Franks are hot dogs, and that's just the kind of guy he is. And then it just fucking rolls out, and then the track's done, whatever. 4.5 on 5. It's a banger fucking tune, but I think it just gets better with Holy Calamafuck. I mean, this is just a really cool track. I mean, the quick version of why this is cool is the split in the middle and the whole evolution into multiple flows. So part 1 of this track is like a little bit of an intro. It's almost slowed down, and it kind of has this boppy energy, and you just want to move, but you still want to move in the right way, but it's kind of giving you a little breaksy poo. So let's say we cut out the 3rd track and just left out the So Does My New Workout. Yo, I basically hit the elliptical on my first listen. I was just running that shit. Out of Sight's about the only track I really felt wasn't elliptical worthy. I was in, wasn't going to hit my workout playlist. Maybe the last one too, because it's a little slower. But in general, we're right back at that. And this is the part where I'm going to slow down for a little bit, maybe because I'm feeling lazy and questioning if I'm really going to do this for the next 30 minutes before I get past it in part 2 of this song and move on to my high energy. So I really like that vibe of it. But right off the jump, even with the lyrics, like the law defier, the non-complier, the debt defier, the Mike Myers, murder rapper for hire. And I thought that was really cool, right? Because I guess in a sense, I admire the revolutionary spirit. I try, as corny as this might come off, I try to not comply to the conformist nature of middle-class mediocrity, right? I try to be myself, and it doesn't get me a lot of views on YouTube, and I'm probably going to have a very, very long and painful path to any kind of success in my life because I'm not really willing to suck dick for the sake of an extra $1. It's just not who I am. But I kind of like the fact that hearing him come through and just say all this shit and just roll through and just on pure talent and energy get to this level is just real dope, man. And you get the sense that going against Killer Mike, well, he is a killer and his name's Mike. And I like that because it's just proper. Doer of Drive-Buyers. Oh, also, I'm pretty sure Mike Myers came back from the dead, so he's technically a death defier. Doer of Drive-Buyers, the back, clack, clack, let it loose, murder all witnesses and survivors. I like the way he breaks up the flow just to like give you a little you know, because they do that in guitar. I don't know all the right terms, but you'll have like some whatever harmonic or melodic shift and then bring it on back to the main thing, but it's just enough to spice up shit and just be well placed. And I feel like Killer Mike uses flow in the way a good guitarist will write out some licks. Anyway, it rolls on through. I don't know 1,000% that I have a lot to comment. I think the bars are just fresh, man. They're all fresh. They just flow through. He's fucking aggressive. He comes in. I love it when LP just kind of cuts off Mike and goes, run the jewels smooth and don't trigger the Undertaker. Just in the middle, right? Because it rhymes with escalator. But basically, they come in, they do what they got to do, and I guess they don't piss off the Undertaker. I don't know if that's a wrestling bar or with reference to the literal role of an Undertaker. It still sounds cool. And then as a teen lackey, I would have ran me a Supreme jacket. I would have took these lame Supreme jackets until you rob a hype beast. You ain't seen sadness. Clockwork Orange madness left is seen laughing. So I think that's an interesting line, right? Because you kind of have him looking back and he's just kind of like, yo, I would have basically run a Supreme racket, like a successful racket where I would have jacked these Supreme jackets, which are fucking lame, because they are. Honestly, I don't understand why anyone wants Supreme. It's the stupidest brand I ever done seen. I would have, you know, took the lame Supreme jackets and then until you rob a hype beast, you ain't seen sadness. And I guess that's the way of looking at it, until you rob the wrong kind of person or whatever. And I guess that's something, an experience most of us haven't had. So when you rob somebody that's having his shit, I guess it creates a level of sad. But then Clockwork Orange madness left the scene laughing. So that's interesting, because I took that in two ways. On Genius, they're all playing on the obvious bar, because in Clockwork Orange, while committing crimes, they're doing all the crazy stuff, right? It is one of the most awkward, unfortunate, like, I guess, rape scenes that do exist. But it also kind of could be taken as like a little bit of a Trump bar if you think about it. Like Clockwork Orange could be a way of describing that, man. Madness left the scene laughing, and just kind of also induced that this is like the spirit of the time. So I thought that was real clever of a bar. And then LP comes through on the next verse. Hey, we forever ever Jamito y Michael the render, the pyrotechnic Kratza, the old razzle dazzlers, the magic bean imbiters, the green giant of rhyme contrivers, supreme violence of the time describers. I'm the decider, you evil ires. I mean, basically it runs through like that. A lot of this track is them just barring up, playing down the syllables, planning on through like they're being fucking fresh. And I don't know. I don't know if it's what they're saying that really matters to me as much as how they're saying it with the energy. I mean, the fact is, when I think about all the bars, they're dope. They rock a concise level of English that's real dope. Like, thought crime designer, criminal minder. Like, that's dope. That bar just tells me he's up there trying to be a leader of intellectual revolution. That's dope. Anyway, then the song kind of cuts in the middle, and we go on to this different, more like upbeat kind of flow, like Ayo, 1 for the mayhem, 2 for the mischief, now and for the drums in the zone in district, hit 'em, burg 'em, get 'em, burn 'em, can't get a ghost up, no resistance. Anyway, I know I'm doing it wrong, but it just kind of like picked up the pace a bit, gave it a whole different energy. Like, past that shit, Mike, I have to insist it. Reality sucks dick. How's that for wisdom? So it's kind of interesting, right? Like, it's almost like they got high in the middle, and he's just like not normally wanting to hit the weed, I guess, and then he just kind of hits it because, yo, reality's awful. That's fucking wisdom. I just got to do what I got to do. I'll lick a toes back like, delicious. And the voice gets all fucked up like he just got high on hallucinogens for a second. I thought that was a great, again, use of theatrics to kind of fluff up and enhance the song in a nice kind of way. And then he just rolls through, like, now he's high. Hey, little guy, I'm just walking through from another timeline where monsters eat truth. Physicists say the dough I got's proof. The multiverse lives. I'm supposed to just lose. And that's an interesting fucking line, too, right? So he's kind of cruising through the multiverse of like reality, because he's high on fucking drugs now, and but he's kind of now talking to somebody where he's like, yo, I'm in your timeline now, let me tell you about the corporate awfulness that comes through. I'm supposed to lose. The glass bottom tank I drive is all fueled. Better try to stay cool, honey bunny, don't move. Fuck shit glows in the hearts of the brutes. You hate run the jewels, you don't love the troops. You miss the point trying to act like shit's cool. So what I'm hearing here is he's kind of looking at this person he's encountered in the other universe, and he's describing this awful fucking existence, but kind of flipping it on reality, and then having that little poke at the idea that, oh, you hate run the jewels, you don't love the troops. And it just kind of like taking these criticisms, like, you know, it's not really about anything like that. You're supposed to just be authentic to yourself. Don't fucking tell doom your number's not due. Every other goddamn year I'm a brand new. It's been 20 plus years. You think that's a clue? And I feel like that's a great line too, because at the end of the day, he's not trying to be anything. He's just kind of being himself, and he's so innovative and he's so creative in the way he approaches it, and he's done so for such a long tenured career. And yo, I actually was kind of checking out some El Producto work and some of his beats and shit, and yo, the guy is real talented and real diverse in what he can bring to the table. I don't know, plenty of, he's probably that dude, he left enough proof, that's fair, because he just kind of does what he does, and he's talking about himself, and just pointing out that he's now got, like, so much evidence of his greatness, whereas other people just disappeared, and he's still the next big thing, gotta hurt, oof. And I love that line, because that's crazy, right? Again, being 45 years old or so, and owning the charts, or maybe not gonna own the charts, but owning a lot of attention, when a lot of kids who are trying to be fresh and trendy just can't even keep up, and here comes old man LP just being fucking cooler than everybody. Respect. And then you get this fire hot fuego, which is just dope, and it just feels like that's what it is. And then Mike's there again. This the payback. Allow me to state that. Odd up the fourth back. We don't play that. You want beef, bro? You just state that, and we steak that, fry and bake that. So yeah, that's a lot of food bars. I guess he was hungry when he wrote this. Because it's funny, because after all the food bars, one time in the big old South lived a chubby little kid with a big old mouth. Lame writers gave him big old doubts. Now the same little boy in a big old house. And it basically runs through, and you get the sense that they're, again, legitimate. I do love the way that if you want to challenge them, they'll fuck you up, like all the ways you would cook a beef, and they would end it like that. And then he kind of goes back to how the people doubted him, and back then they didn't want him. Now he's got a great house, and he's got all the cars, and a lot of people who hated on him love him and shit, and it's kind of what it is. But I like how he goes a bit further. I've seen ignorant shit like geekers dancing, rappers rap about it like it's so romantic, but I still can't seem to escape the panic. PTSD streets did the damage, keep me in the hammock, lay back with cannons, get me fucked up, it's a bit calamity. I'ma come through and leave some damages. God damn, somebody caught ambulances out of chances. Fuck that weak shit, you be battering, you were common cold and my flows are cancerous. So honestly, what I'm taking from that is he's seen how a lot of people are rapping about a lot of things he's experienced in his life that have actually and legitimately fucked him up to a point where he has a lot of trouble coping, to a point where he's got to chain smoke a lot of copious marijuana and effectively get kind of fucked up, but a lot of coast through and just kind of like live to a point where he's all out of his mind or whatever. Anyway, he's all like calling ambulances and then flips that fuck that weak shit, because that's not what's really going down. You be the bantering, you're a common cold, I'm fucking cancerous. And I like that because it ties into the idea of an ambulance and shit. I don't know, it's a great track, man. The way the beats flip up and everything is super dope. 5 on 5, I can't get enough of this already. One more that we're going to talk about in part 1, and it's going to be Goonies vs. E.T. Yo, for real, I love this little intro, distorted chorus thing. I don't know if it's sampling something or interpolating something, but I think it's taking a sound or a notion that would normally be like, maybe if I had another chance, I would give another chance to you. Like, you know, some soft-ass singy crap or whatever, and then just deep downing it and making it sound gritty and hard, but being in the spirit of, like, the more softer vein of what it is. I thought that was real fucking cool. Oh, and then there's that fucking kid that's like, yeah, take that motherfucker or whatever between the two songs that kind of linked them together, and I thought that was real, like, it was real nice. I don't know if it's one of their kids, but I like it when kids swear. It just instantly makes me like the situation more. Anyway, so they do that whole chorus, ooh, if I make another wish, I'll wish another wish for you, 1, 2, and I kind of like that because it feels like a little old-timey, a little nice little vibe we're gonna get. And then egads, you heard of these lads, the myth how we made a grip, never rode dick, truly the Cadillac of how to contract L's on the quick. Stick 'em up, slick talker, no tricks. That last line is Killer Mike. But we're back on that idea of, hey, we're here, we came through, we're winning, and at the same time, we did it without fucking selling out, and we authentic, and it's dope. And I kind of like it because they did, and when you do live that authentic life, and then you go ahead and spit that authentic shit, and then you just, because you don't hear them saying anything preposterous, they're just like, yo, we are kind of the Cadillac of how to contract L's on the quick. So it's like an interesting line. I mean, L's could be like losses, I guess, or whatever. But then now that life's moved on a bit, stick 'em up, talking no tricks, so they did the run the jewel shit. It's the funniest shit. Finally, the money up and print on the kid and the planet hit skids. Living in a valley of flames, the guy win. skyline ablaze in a Bob Ross pic. So I think that's interesting because I don't know when this was actually written or finalized, but it could definitely apply to today and now. But also recently, the world's been kind of going to shit for a little bit longer than that. So the funniness of actually getting rich and making it when everything's kind of fucked up is not lost. I mean, that was a great line. And then just kind of taking something so serene as a Bob Ross pic and saying, yeah, the world is like that. It's like that, but on fire. You don't have to acknowledge I'm raw. Give a shit. You can talk of me fun when I'm gone. And I thought that was cool, right? Like, he's like, I'm just here doing my shit, whatever. You want to get me out of high praise? Wait till I'm dead and gone. Fuck that. Bad news bears on the lawn with big claws, trying to hold on where lives in applause and applause. Swear to God, damn, the whole city odd. Make a romance, we got scars for hearts, shit for odds, baby living in one chance LARP. I thought that was cool because it's like a LARP is a live action role play. I've seen the dudes LARPing on Montreal and Montreal where they fucking hit each other with the sticks, the metal bars tied up in styrofoam, spray painted gray and whatever. Anyway, so I like the illusion of the idea that at the end of the day, it's like a big old video game with one life and shit's kind of fucking crazy. And it just kind of flows out the rest of the verse. I don't know if I'm really going to comment on every bar. It's just pretty good and it flows into this tone and this vibe that we're getting that's different, but it still has an energy that makes me want to bop around the room, so I'm fucking loving it. Then you want to boogie down with the chorus again, but then there's like this fucking pause and it just lets the beat play out, and you kind of get this call and chant response shit where you hear Killer Mike interacting with the crowd a bit, and it's like really great production and really just good for the environment. I think it drops through a Killer Mike's verse after a little bit. It's a good like minute, I'd say, and then amazing in it how we made it and didn't fake it. Life's a disguise, the truth is butt naked. Used to be a time I'd see it and not say it. Now I understand that woke folk be playing. And ain't no revolution, it's televised and digitized. You've been hypnotized and Twitterized by silly guys. I really love this part because, like I was saying, Killer Mike is kind of like one of my heroes now, and just in terms of how it is. And I had this experience where I went out on Sunday and I participated in an event, and then I got home and saw what Twitter said about that same event. And when I saw the people online and just the way the story and the message got changed, and something that was peaceful was no longer peaceful over the actions of a couple of individuals and a very hasty and overzealous protection force that probably acted in a way that would be very much in line with what the American folk are used to dealing with. So yeah, just watching that, watching how people are just so influenced by memes and social media arguments, and like, I can come off real pretentious, but I spend a lot of time just trying to get proven wrong by people. Like, I'll have uncomfortable conversations where I'll just find somebody to be like, listen, this is gonna be awkward shit, but I don't know who else I can ask. And then I ask a question that in the wrong environment might piss somebody off, but I have friends who are courteous enough to work through some of my confusing moments in life. And so just trying to find the truth of life and to be a proper ally and stuff, you kind of empathize with where he's coming from. The idea is that if you want to understand how the world's going to work, I couldn't just forever stay home and never go to these things. I couldn't just watch it happen. I had to be there. I had to be in the spirit of people. Just like I have to go and so I'm going to work more with my local community and finding opportunities to do whatever. There's this thing called white spaces I found out about where honkies can congregate and figure out how to do things in a less appropriating manner in terms of hijacking causes and stuff. So honestly, I'm just inspired to go out there and live off the internet for a minute and try to help while making my internet content. Because to the evening news, make sure you ill-advised, got you celebrating the generations of genocide. Any good deed is pummel punished and penalized. Rulers of the world will slice it up like a dinner pie. And that is kind of how the media is working, right? It'll just kind of fucking twist everything and obscure stuff and inflame and enrage and just do a lot of other stuff that's not helpful or conducive to truth. You'll have like, oh, vandals destroyed Steve's music store. And then Steve's like, fuck out of here. Get the camera off our stores. Just fucking guitars. Go talk about real shit. Fuck you. I'm like, that's right. And I'm seeing so much of that now. I'm seeing so many people be like, shut the fuck up. Why are you talking about our shit? It's just a store. And I'm loving the attitude I'm seeing from so many. So kudos to Steve's music store in Montreal. If you need some gear, cop some shit from them. They're real ones. And they just got fucked up over the situation. Anyway, so the rules fuck it up. Race in a nation told you to identify. People take false pride in warfare, incentivized. I mean, y'all saw what the fuck's happened in the last week. I don't even need to comment on this. We're living it on social media. And we're literally being asked to take sides. Statements like Black Lives Matter apparently are not divisive enough to lead to responses that are leading to unfriends. And while I don't ever unfriend people because I love to know my enemy, like Sun Tzu said, we are getting to a point where the polarization, which has been incentivized by news and media, is getting nuts. So I love the fact that Mike spills the beans in such a ill way. It's real dope. We accept the role of the villains because we've been villainized, stomped to the dirt of the earth. We arise, and that's real powerful, right? Because if you're constantly showing to be made awful, if you're black in America, there's no fucking way. I mean, I'm assuming here. Let me not just say I understand shit. The way it's been explained to me is that you're constantly made to feel like shit by the system and vilified constantly for just being black. Like, it's always the black guy that's fucking a criminal or whatever. The black guy died first in a horror movie. It's just the way everything plays it. It's just always villainous shit. I mean, imagine all the people who called the cops over bird watching or sitting on a bench or sitting in your car or I don't know. Y'all know what it is. Way better than I do if you're black, I imagine. I know how awful and ignorant that may have all came off, but my heart's in the place and trying to put forth that I love how Killer Mike is adding a lot of language that makes it translatable to other people. And then the fact is, in light of the awful circumstances, you see the unity and the people coming together and rising up, you know? In the Terror Dome, let me alone as I soliloquize. This is License to Ill with a license to kill. This is with an attitude in Beverly Hills. Heavy bill with a pocket full of treasury bills. Got fire temper, find it hard to chill. I'm a lifetime member of fuck that, fuck shit. Me and Jamie versus all y'all with knife and a musket. Now our tombstones read they were nothing to fuck with. And I like that because they went through and they revolutionized and they terrorized, you know, the fake worlds of, you know, whatever corporate America, however you want to spin it. They die for the cause. They come through, them versus everyone. On their tombstone, they were nothing to fuck with. And then, yo, it's like LP just is like, yo, please say it again, Mike. We're nothing to fuck with. And it just kind of ends, and it's a hard-hitting ending. So, yo, I gave this a 5 on 5. I don't know what else to say. It's bars for days, fucking crazy flows. This one had a really great, powerful message, and the beat's banging. I don't know what else I could say. It's just dope. 5 on 5. Anyway, I still have to go review the other half of the album. Probably going to get that done tomorrow and deal with all that. It's getting a little late. It's 8:30 now. Apparently, I've been recording for an hour. So on the first half of a 39-minute album, hour of footage. Probably be a little less than the final form. That's okay. We're going to cut this at the end of it. So thank y'all for being here. Part 2 is going to come real soon. You'll get the full album summary there. But as you can tell by my grades, I'm fucking loving this project. I love everything about the sounds, the versatility, the way it flows together. But I also recognize how a lot of y'all might not like it. So let me know how you're feeling about this album when you do it. Obviously, you guys have probably listened to the whole thing, even if we've only talked about the first half so far. Thank you again. Subscribe to the channel for part 2 and more reviews. Thumbs up if you really did like it. Thumbs down if you hated it. Let me know either way in the comment. If you want to be mean, just try to censor yourself because YouTube's censoring comments. It's not me that deletes them, I promise. I love the mean comments. I used to get mad. Now I smile. Anyway, special thanks to the patrons. This is Milka Dempsey, Chris Bauer, Jonathan Barnes, Lindell Williams, DJ Black Hurricane, Scribble, and Carl. They're dope. Support what we do. Album reviews is coming your way. Anyway, so yeah, they get album reviews, they request from us. Lindell's next, and then it's going to be Jonathan Barnes, and then we get back into the list of everybody else. So yeah, I'm thinking about y'all. Anyway, I don't know what else to say right now except I make music. Like I said earlier, link below. Check for music videos on this channel. And I think we've reached the end of part 1. Live long and prosper, everyone.